Ouch.
Ouchie.
Everybody's trying to call me right now.
Okay.
All right, you won't hear the intro for whatever dumb reason.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't either, but I'm manning the show, so it's no big deal. Let me know when you see that we're live. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I can't see anything yet.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Cool.
I don't even know what notes are up.
I can't hear any background music though.
That's okay.
I wonder.
I don't think it actually plays anymore.
Or anything. I mean, what? No.
I think I lost that song from Mark, and I've never bothered replacing it. They can hear us talking right now, though.
Can you still see me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I can bring up the show notes then. Good. That's awesome.
Okay. And Kim, you should move your camera. It's like facing half the wall, so like to your right a little.
This phone is supposed to do
better
split screen, isn't it?
Okay. All right, everybody. Let's start the show. Yeah.
Can I adjust my ghoulies?
I'm sorry. What?
Can I adjust my ghoulies first?
You can adjust your ghoulies, but I mean, yeah. Here we go. Starting the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly?
I think we're just getting started.
Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 664 of your Overseas Connection podcast. Today is January 2nd, 2022. There we are in the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Podcast coming to you every week. We continue the march on, except for, of course, last week. We wanted to take a day off. We are usually on every Sunday at 9 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. on the East Coast, and you are, if you happen to be in the Central Time Zone, we are sorry for your loss, but you're 3 p.m. There you go.
Yeah.
On the show today, we have a lovely cast. We have Kim Woods.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
We have Premature Pete.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Pete.
Premature Pete. Do you know, technically, it was after midnight here in the UK before we go anywhere else now. Now you've started it. So me saying tomorrow, I was actually correct. Anyway.
Sure.
Sure, Pete. Whatever you say.
Because
that's not what she said. Also on the podcast, back from America, we have His Royalty, Sir Irish Mexican Robin Tate.
Hello there, everybody. Happy New Year. And good to be back on the show. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. And here we go again. 2020 something. 2. There's a 2 in there.
Here we go again.
2022.
Hey, real quickly, for those that are watching the show live, you're probably wondering why Robin's picture is tiny. And that is because Robin is actually coming to us from a cell phone. And so his camera is playing havoc with OBS, but it's working. So I'm not going to complain. We've at least got his smiling mug on the face, on the show, on the face, on the show.
You're not
literally, it's just your face right now.
If you put on 3D glasses, I'll come right out of the screen.
Scary thought. That's a scary thought. All right. Well, hey, we are a video game podcast. We like to talk about video games. We talk about life. And I think, honestly, life is going to dominate a good portion of this podcast because we've got a lot of stories from the holidays. We've got alcohol flowing, apparently. We also, we've got some game stuff to talk about. This show will be a little bit different just because, look, there's no gaming news happening right now. So in true fashion, just like every other podcast out in the world, we will talk about what games we liked best from 2021 that we played. And this is by no means a game of the year. This is the one only game, but these are our favorite games that we played. So we'll have that discussion during the news section. So that's the setup. That's the show. If you are in the chat, we welcome you to text and join part of the conversation. And that being said, let's get into some story time. If it'll work.
Maybe.
Nice to see you've done lots of work while we were off on editing sound effects.
I'm all over it. I don't still have a birthday song. I do need to get a birthday song. All right, Kim, let's start with you.
Oh, sure.
What's Missouri been like over the past couple weeks?
Actually, for the last couple weeks, it's been good. Now, for the last 2 days, it's been colder than Billy Hell. So, yeah. We're ankle deep in snow. It is currently, at last check, it was 6 degrees, but it felt like -1. So, yeah, it's cold. So, welcome to Missouri. Yeah. I kind of wish I had snowshoes right about now. Although, I don't know. People have told me that actually snowshoes don't work that well, so maybe I don't. But
it depends what you use them for, Kim.
Yeah, it also depends on
snowshoes for walking in snow, or you can use them for squeezing out clothing. It's very good because there's lots of holes in them. After you wash them, it's good for straining pasta.
And
Also
probably
very good
worth asking the question: what kind of snowshoes are you talking about? Are you talking about actual like the snowshoes, the big old? They look like almost like mini paddles. Or are you talking about like studded sneakers? Yeah, crossers.
No, like the actual like snowshoes, like you see on Bugs Bunny when he's, going through the Yukon or whatever. Right. Yeah, because I've got, my big rubber insulated boots and they do all right, but
say rubber again, say it.
Please don't. Okay, I would say for your situation, Kim, absolutely no need for those kinds of snowshoes. Those snowshoes really are for trekking across the mountains. Your situation, you're in and around your property, but
yes.
Yeah. So
you are an expert on these snowshoes, Greg.
Absolutely. Being from California, I am 100% an expert. Although I have dealt with snow issues this past week. We'll get into that shortly.
Oh, really?
But Kim, let's start the year off right.
Of course.
Let's lay down the calendar.
Alrighty. It's January of the new year. Happy New Year, everyone, by the way. And we have Aaron and Prue. Trying to figure out where my camera is since Aaron and Prue. I suppose it's like short for Prudence, but yeah.
Which is a weird name for a firefighter, but okay.
Right? Exactly. Right. I kind of thought the same thing, but
he does look a little bit like a Prudence.
Just a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, and it's only one calendar this year because honestly, my cosplay guy did not put out another one. So yeah.
Cosplay guy didn't put out. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's terrible shame, isn't it? But it is. Anyway, other than that, I had a good Christmas. Got some nice stuff. Had a good time. I'm still technically eating sugar cookies from Christmas, so I will be 300 pounds by the time it's all over.
Congratulations.
But, right. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's snowy, it's cold, and I had a good Christmas. I had a good New Year's, so I went to bed like at 10 o'clock.
All right, excellent.
Well, so it's New Year's and I'm old.
Yeah. Well, thanks for contributing, Kim. That's fantastic. Great. Okay. No, just kidding around, Kim. I'm glad actually yours was fairly uneventful, which is a good thing.
Right. Yeah. We all got along. No one tried to kill each other. It was nice. So.
I need to yell at my XLR keeps adjusting my volume, and I'm not sure why. So hopefully my microphone levels stay up. That's a personal problem, I guess. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
next least exciting is going to be, I think it's Pete. Pete?
I don't know.
Yours is way less exciting.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
The video?
I think no. We're gonna go with Pete. We're gonna go with Pete because I know Robin's gonna talk for at least 2 hours.
Okay. Well, I've not had much of a break, to be honest. I've been at work most of the time until last week. There was a bit of an event. Kira tested positive for the Wu flu, so so Shell's had to. Well, I've still had to go to work because nobody's there, so I've got no excuse. I've got to go. But Shell, because she works for the NHS, she's pretty much got to stay at home. That's the advice that they've been given. So we've been testing every single day because we're living with Kira, but we're still negative. Yeah.
Okay.
So Christmas has been a bit quiet, really, at home.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's just one of those, isn't it?
No, but there was an exciting moment of Christmas.
Well, I went to, well, this is the thing. I managed to get to my mum and dad's Christmas Day. So Kira tested positive after that day. So anyway, we went to my mum and dad's, and we did Secret Santa again this year. And my Secret Santa was my brother, which was great because I just thought, well, I could get him a naughty present, and it doesn't really matter then, does it? Like, because he's my brother. If I got it somebody else in the family, it'd just be a bit like, he wouldn't be right, would he? So I bought my brother a cock cage, and
I love it. I love it. I watched that video. That was great.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. That really did make.
I got my brother a cock cage.
It was the realization. It was like it took him about a minute to work out what it was. It was like,
Even when he opened the present and he went, "House of Denial," and he actually said that out loud. It was like, how could you not get that?
I don't want to open this all up again, Pete, but if one was chucked in front of me right now, I would think it would be something for a pet mouse. I really would. I honestly, I still don't know what this is. Still have not heard about it. I've asked everyone. I asked all the people in America. I asked the woman in Cracker Barrel. Tell me, do you sell cupcakes here? I just nobody knew.
Well, it might. You never know. It might just rally around the world like a bad present. It'll get to different places. We might pass it round. Who knows? He's not going to use it anyway, is he? So staying in, we've managed to watch a few films because I did have a couple of days off, and we stayed in. And I've always wanted, because I always feel a little bit out of a bit out of my comfort zone, really, when people start to talk Marvel. I don't know much about it. I feel like I feel like I'd needed to be schooled a little bit with it by watching all of the movies. So we're going to watch them in chronological order, and we started that. I think it was the day after Boxing Day, and I've watched what have I watched so far? I've watched Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 1 and 2, and The Incredible Hulk. So I've got Thor next.
Now, real quickly. So wait, and I apologize, I didn't catch that. Are you actually watching them in the chronological order that's supposed to happen?
Chronological order.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Very cool.
I'm really enjoying it so far. I never knew, because I've heard of Nick Fury, but I've never seen the story behind him and how things originated with him, and how what's her name, Black Widow, how she snuck in at the start in Iron Man. So there's all these things that and. The other thing was like spotting Stanley, like his little appearances in the films.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Classic.
Funny. He's going to come up later. Stanley.
Yeah. So we've enjoyed watching the Marvel films so far, and I watched, another film called Don't Look Up. I think it's called.
Yes, I watched that when I was away.
Netflix. What do you think?
Yeah. I posted in the groups to say it was. It made me wryly smile, ironically, now and again. It was okay, but it was interesting and absolutely true what we would do. Pete, you talk about the premise, please. Tell them what the story is.
Well, basically, there's a couple of scientists, and one of them's Leonardo DiCaprio, and they, his partner, this woman, I can't remember her name now, she discovers that something is basically going to go and hit the Earth, a meteorite. It's on its way to Earth, and it's going to hit Earth in 6 months and however many days it was. And what they try and do is they go to the president first. Well, yeah. they go to the president first of all, and they're taking no notice, and then they're just, I don't want to give a lot of it away, but they end up just doing whatever they can to spread the message out there that the whole world is going to end in 6 months or just over. And it's
so
basically
it's like Deep Impact or Armageddon, but no one on Earth really gives a shit. They're so busy with their lives. The president is so worried about the midterms that they start to sing like MAGA, like Make America Great Again. But it's even that they even have the red hat. It's don't look up. It's all a lie. Don't look up. It's all, but it's like and then there's an Apple character like Steve Jobs and really rich people like Bezos, and they're very, very wry, ironic, and funny here and there. So it's definitely worth a watch on Netflix. I just watched that one was away.
Looking through it, I just never expected it to be a film that Leonardo DiCaprio would star in. But now it's when I watched it all, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. He needed to put his name to a film like that because it's not really anything he's done before, is it? So
no, it's good fun.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, good. I enjoyed that.
So Don't Look Up. Yeah. So, someone's snorting down the mic or something.
That was me.
Oh. Stop it because it's really loud. So I've watched a few episodes of The World's Strongest Man as well. This is something that was going on in California. Is it in Sacramento? I think it was. Greg, I can't see her on the camera. I don't know what the bloody hell he's doing.
Yeah,
all right.
I had a bit of that on today. Yeah.
Did you watch it? I mean,
I put it on for Judith.
It was really, really good. The Brits seem to be holding their own in that competition. I didn't watch it all because my son was getting a bit bored, and so I haven't watched all of the final yet. But I've been watching a few episodes of that, and it's filmed out in, like I say, California. I don't know when it was, but it was bloody hot by the look of it. I mean, some of the guys are blacking out.
So Pete, Sacramento, by the way, is about 20 minutes south of me.
Yeah, I thought it was close. Yeah,
I live in I can't call it the suburbs of Sacramento, but I'm in a town probably roughly 20 minutes north of Sacramento.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize it was so. I didn't realize it was so western looking. Well, it was where they were.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It looked like a Hollywood film set. It was really strange, like a cowboy type set. But they had they were doing good out there. I think the temperature was getting to them a little bit, but I've watched some of that, and I'm a little bit unsure about what to do for next week because it's somebody's birthday. I'll mention it at the end, but we've got to go away, and I just don't know what to do because of it's a pain in the arse, isn't it? All of this testing and whether you test positive and blah blah blah. So I might go on holiday in this country instead of going abroad. But yeah, maybe more about that when I come back. So I'm not going to be on the show for not next week and the week after. So 2 weeks, I'm afraid.
Vacation for us.
Huh?
Vacation for us.
Holiday.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, you need a break from cock cages. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little frightening, Pete, how excited you get for the cock cage.
Well, it's...
By the way, that video with your brother, it was hilarious. It really was.
It was really good.
Well done.
Yeah. Classic.
There we go.
Anything else,
So that's
Pete?
me.
All right.
No,
okay.
no, that's it.
Robin, I'm going to save you for last because I think
God.
you have the biggest update out of all of us.
I've tried to cut it back.
Yeah. So on my end, my parents came down for Christmas, and we had some crazy weather here the week leading up to Christmas and then just after Christmas. In particular, the Sierras got, in a 24-hour period of time, over 10 feet of snow. And my parents have to cross over the Sierras to get to us because they live in Reno. So there's two main highways that get to Reno. There's Highway 80, which is a pretty big freeway system. It's typically at minimum 2 lanes over the Sierra Mountain Range, but usually it's 3 lanes for a good chunk of it. And then there's a Highway 50, which is basically, for the most of the trip over the Sierras into Lake Tahoe, it's a 2-lane highway. So my parents got here and just kind of missed the snow, and then the snow hit, and then there was a little bit of a break, and then the big snow dump hit right as we were kind of getting ready for them to go home, and the entire Highway 80 was shut down for 3 days because of avalanches, power lines going down. It was just an absolute mess. And so my parents were actually stuck here for an extra 2 days, which we have a rule, an unwritten rule, which I think I'm now going to actually make a written rule, that I can't stay more than 3 days with my parents. After that, kind of drive you nuts. But so they were here for an extended period of time. And finally, we got a window. 80 was still closed, but Highway 50 opened. So they were actually, they wanted to get home. They wanted to get back into their own bed, that kind of thing. So they left in the morning. They did not get home until about 9:30 at night. Probably about 12 hours on the freeway. Just bumper to bumper traffic on Highway 50, because that was the only freeway open during that time. And then right after they left that Wednesday, so they left Tuesday, Wednesday evening, I started to feel a little funny. And I'm like, I think I have a cold coming on. And sure enough, Thursday, it hits, and I notice Colin's starting to feel a little sick. And then Friday night, New Year's Eve night, Cindy starts feeling a little sick. So all of us have got a flu bug of some kind. Not sure if it's the Wu flu or not. However, we will find out, because my son, in order for him to go back to daycare, they told us that he has to get a test. And of course, testing right now, when I called the doctor's office on Friday, testing is just book solid. But they were able to get us in for Monday. And so, I mean, honestly, we'll keep him out of school just to be on the safe side.
You'll be okay.
Get him tested.
So is that a PCR test that you have to go and have?
I don't know which test. I don't know which test the hospital's doing.
I'm an expert.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now.
PCR test is the only one you need to do for traveling.
No.
Well, at least on our end.
Test for travel.
On our end, it was the PCR test was the one that was needed to be traveled. At least back when I traveled.
They're the one they make you get.
Yes.
But you don't need to get that.
It's the fastest turnaround, at least one that was available to us at the time. But needless to say, we'll get him tested. Anyway. We'll find out. I will say this. If this is the Wu flu, it has been absolutely nothing. I mean, it felt like a flu to me. So I had about 1.5 days of feeling pretty crappy, and then started bouncing back quickly. And, I feel fine today. I still have a little bit of lingering congestion, but that's about it. Cindy got hit pretty hard with it yesterday and then into today. And then Colin also already on the mend. He still has his kind of lingering cough, but he always does this anytime he gets a chest cold. He just has a challenge getting it out of his system. So it is what it is.
And it is that time of the year that these things happen anyway.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, so outside of that, I have been listening to a ton of audiobooks. So, Ruins of the Galaxy, Void Horizon, just finished that book. That's the latest in the Ruins of the Galaxy series. I love this book series. It is very akin to Star Wars, but think of visceral Star Wars, where the characters that are, unsavory types. They do.
Oh, okay.
They do nasty things.
Instead of a lightsaber, it was a big, massive pink dildo or something out there.
No.
Okay. Like really hands-on.
No, but it's also narrated by our favorite narrator, and R.C. Brett does a fantastic job of really bringing these characters to life in it, and very similar to Star Wars. You have.
What's it called again? Sorry.
Ruins of the Galaxy, and there's 4 books out so far. There's going to be a 5th one coming soon.
Okay.
And so you have all of these different creatures and characters that interact, and when you really look at the plot, you do see a similar plot to the overall big Star Wars plot, which is the Senate being overthrown secretively, that kind of thing. It has a lot of those elements to it, but just a really well done series so far. I've very much enjoyed it. I then listened to an Audible book called The Best of Us, and it wasn't. I stopped about a third of the way in, and it wasn't like it was horrible. It just was boring. And this is one of those Audible books that is available free. And this is my one complaint about most of the Audible books that are available free. They don't seem like they are the best.
You've listened to the good ones.
Yeah.
You've got Arisen, and there's some other good ones that are on there. But we've listened to the good ones. So
no, agreed. And so it was just blah. So then I just downloaded the newest Expeditionary Force Fallout.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm halfway through. Through.
I
Interesting.
Maybe a third into it. So but enjoying that so far as well.
So what I would say is it looks like he's trying to put both Mavericks and the original together. He's trying to mesh them now because if you're a third of the way through, a certain character or wherever doesn't appear until way into it.
Yes, I've been surprised the lack of a certain character so far into the story. And then finally, man, I've been watching a ton of Goliath. Absolutely loving this. I'm into pretty much the end of season 3, starting into season 4 now.
Okay.
And
so you're into the peyote or the drugs and the
Yep. But what I love about Goliath, originally I was under the impression that each season was its own kind of self-contained story. And they are, except for once you get after season 2, you realize all of these stories intertwine. And it's kind of crazy how there's definitely some meshing. And
interesting when you get to the 4th season, Greg, it's going to be interesting because it is such a shock to the system, the way it's filmed and it's very stylized.
Oh, okay. All right.
So very, very, very different, very Alfred Hitchcock. I
wonder if it was a bit of COVID influence,
maybe, but it threw me at first, but really enjoyed it anyway. Right. So anyway.
So there you go. That has been me in a nutshell, and that leaves us to our last but not least, Robin Tate. You are home.
Forgive me. Yeah, I am going to talk a little bit, but I'll mention one thing TV wise, because what Pete had mentioned, Don't Look Up, was one of the things I had down. But the other thing was I downloaded, just became available for our flight home, was the first of the new Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett, which is the new Star Wars, like the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
So Boba Fett is the guy that was eaten by the Sarlacc in the middle of the desert in Return of the Jedi, and that kind of cool bounty hunter, and it's his story. I'm not going to give any spoilers whatsoever, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first book. Very, very good, and it's very, very promising, and very much in the style of The Mandalorian with the music and the styling and everything. So, that's well worth a watch. It's on the Disney Channel. Okay, so we are back, and then with some success. Forgive me, I am going to talk a little bit here, but it's American, it's lovely, and it's fun, and it's gaming and parks and stuff. But I gotta say, the challenge of going to America and returning home from America with 7 people, 3 of which had COVID within 90-day period, and 4 more that hadn't, was a nightmare. I had an inch and a half of paperwork to take with us, and going out was kind of nutty. We flew into Philadelphia and then flew from Philadelphia down to Florida. It was just we had a long commute. And on the way back, it was a night flight, not so bad.
That's interesting, by the way. You didn't have a direct flight. I would have thought you would have flown direct to Florida.
I bought these tickets for 1,800 quid for 7 people returned to Florida. So that's why. So, it's like less than half what I paid for 6 people, let alone 7. Now, I mean, because I had all the paperwork and all the bits and pieces, it all went okay. They have this thing called a Verifly app, which anybody that has all of their tests done, PCR, antigen, all that, They have that Verify app. It goes into there, and it's very easy to fly with. People that have had it, like me, I'm a COVID Wu flu survivor, and so is Judith, and so is Charlie. We're survivors of
I do love
Wu
that.
flu. You have to have a letter from your doctor and a whole pile of other paperwork. And on the way out, it was fine and dandy. Through Dublin Airport, where I picked you up. Funny, Greg, I thought of you because we had our breakfast just at the arrivals gate where you came through. And I went, the last time I was here was picking up Greg. And literally that was the last time I was there because of this crap. But on the way back in Florida, the Karen at the desk went, when we said, like, here's the bits and pieces and here's our letters of permission from our doctor, and the girl that was checking us in walked off, brought her supervisor over and went, I'm sorry, sir, you will not be able to fly today. What? I said, look, here's the letter from there, and here's the CDC guidelines, and here's this and that and the other. And I'm sorry, sir, someone had a letter here last week and we didn't let them fly either. I said, I need to speak to your supervisor. And it got a bit hot and heavy for 15 minutes, and I drained of all color and got clammy. The thought of how the hell are we going to do this? And eventually they phoned their hotline or whatever to say, oh, you're right, sir. Yeah, on you go. I never got an apology, but we got going. But to show you how fine it is, 24 hours before we flew, we had to get PCR tests. And we didn't know whether we were going until those tests came back for the kids, for the 4 that... we didn't have to be tested. The people that had it didn't have to be tested, but 4 kids had to be. So we didn't know right up to the very last minute whether we could all go. And on the way back was the exact same thing. Within a day, within just over 24 hours, you have to get your test. That's the only way they'll accept it. And we didn't know if everybody was getting home. Now
that's the trouble, isn't it? It's the uncertainty of that.
Absolutely.
It really puts me off.
And to bring it home, Pete. Friends of ours, neighbours of ours, they flew out a few days after us, old neighbours of ours. And years ago, one of the first times we went out, we had spent Christmas with them, had Christmas dinner in Florida. And they flew out again a few days after us, and we had Christmas dinner with them. And Devon and Adrian are their names. And Devon arrived home about now. But her husband, Adrian, tested positive yesterday. So he has to stay in Florida for another 7 days and go through all the paperwork nightmares. Now, they say insurance is going to pick it up. And the thought of staying in Florida by myself for a week by the pool without kids, it's okay, but not under those circumstances. But yeah, insurance is going to pick it up. They put him in a cheap motel somewhere and it has a pool and stuff, and he'll be fine. But it's just, imagine sending Judith home with all the kids or having to stay behind with one of the kids. So so we've said, like, we will not be traveling again until people fucking wise up. Yeah. I'm sitting on that plane with 300 or 400 people on it, and they insist on a friggin' 3-year-old wearing a mask. Now, on the way out, we had some bitch of a fucking flight attendant woman that about 6 or 7 times, oh, she must wear a mask. She must wear a mask. And how do you keep that on a 3-year-old? It's crazy. And everybody on that plane had been vaccinated in a air conditioning system with particle filters. Anyway, I'm not sorry. It's a very serious thing, but I
totally sympathize, Robin. Totally sympathize.
Okay. So one of the very, really interesting things that had happened when we were getting those COVID tests was, we had to go to an outside agency and to get that done. And we were standing in this place, and Jasmine was there, and she didn't want to get tested. And the rules changed when we went away, and she didn't have to get a test on the way back. But she's sitting there in their buggy, and Corey and Taylor and Joshua had to be tested. And she's doing her thing. And there's this guy started chuckling behind us. And I turned around, and he was this guy, sort of builder-looking guy, early 30s. Forgive me, but he looked sort of Hispanic persuasion, okay? Dark-haired, swarthy skin. And he says, what age is she? I says, she's 3.5, real diva. I have one, she's 3.5 as well, and she is also a real diva. And we got to chat. And I says, and then the conversation turned to, how come you're here? Is this for travel, for holidays, or is this for work? I says, it's for work. He says, I have to go out of state, and the next state guy's nowhere near as good as our governor here. And that opened the door. And I said, well, funny you should say that. I am a big Ron DeSantis fan. says, and says, oh yeah, he's a great guy. He's done great things for the state. It's fantastic. You know, when he's led the way. It's been really, really good. And it's more like normal here in out of states, kind of crazy. And I had my experience with him with Universal Studios, the big park, and Disney, and the difference between there's a real, I brought this up with Greg while I was away, that there was a real vibe, a difference. There was a fear in Disney, and there was more relaxed, get on with it in Universal.
Oh, totally.
Universal,
really, just so people know real quickly, Universal does not require masks. They're very open about it. Disney is requiring people to wear masks in the park. As long as you're anywhere in a indoor area,
which is fine. That's okay. But there was a fear, and you could hear some of the shop assistants when we were in some of the Disney places complaining about people who didn't have masks on and how ridiculous. Anyway, so when I had that opportunity, I had a real live American there. I asked him, I said, "Look, I've got you here." I was getting on okay with him. He says, "Can I ask you, would you be okay with?" I'm sorry, I'm getting a wee bit political here, but nothing bad, nothing heavy. He says, "What's your opinion? I mean, if DeSantis was in the White House in 2024, would you be okay with that?" He says, well, "Yeah, absolutely, DeSantis, or better still, I'd be more happy with Trump in again and DeSantis as his vice president." He says, "Or DeSantis there as well, whatever. You know, I'm really, really happy about that." I says, "Okay, well, that's a bold opinion to say, and fair play to you, and I would be a fan of that too." I said, "But that's not everybody's opinion. Why? He said, "Well, I wasn't a Trump fan. I was never a Trump fan. I was a Democrat all the way through." I said, "Well, what had changed your mind?" He says, "Well, I'm Nick. I'm a felon. I am a convicted felon. I spent 3 years in jail." At that point, I went, "Okay." Anyway, I said, "Right, okay." He says, "And what happened was 5 years ago, I couldn't get a job. When I was a young lad, I was in gangs, I'd done stupid stuff, and I ended up 3 years in prison. Some serious stuff I did. I got out for good behavior 3 years." I says, "I couldn't get a job. For about a year, I couldn't get a job. Trump came in, set this policy in place where he gave companies encouragement to take on felons of a certain type that could get a job. And I got a job. And I'm in construction. I started off as like a laborer. I'm now the foreman of a large site, and I'm doing really well, loving it. And I'm a complete and utter convert, and that is absolutely why. And you don't hear about this stuff. So there's a lot of anyway. I'm not going to go into it. You know how a lot of people know how I feel about that, and there's a lot of stuff that man did, which was right and spot on, and it's being proved more and more every day. So good luck to you, Nick. It was really, really good talking to you. One thing about America right now, Greg DeLacy, is Jesus Christ, you are no cheap date. That is probably the most expensive holiday I have ever been on. And
Let's go, Brandon.
And it wasn't as fancy as California. I swear to God, it's 30 or 40% more expensive than what we were there before.
Robin, you are incorrect,
Yeah?
Robin. Inflation is a positive thing. We've been told this repeatedly.
Of course it is.
I'm sorry.
40 scholars and mathematicians have all said that this is a good thing. Yes, that's what he's the man said. He's very clever. Very, very clever. He knows all the right words. Yeah, about 40% more expensive. I expected to spend a couple of grand when we got there. I had one particular card just for this trip for Judith and I, and I'm looking at it today, and we've spent over the 2 weeks £5,500.
Oh my God!
Ouch!
And I bought stuff. Yeah, I mean, I bought an American flag from Walmart, made in America, by the way. Really good quality,
Nice.
Fantastic. Usually I would buy loads, and I bought some clothes. I spent about $300 on clothes in Tommy Hilfiger, and a few. Probably we spent about $500 or $600 in total on clothes and bits and pieces. But the majority of that was meals out, tolls, food in the parks, drinks in the parks. We never got over. I think if you went to McDonald's with 7 people, it was the guts of $100.
Oh.
If we went to a restaurant with 7 people, I was very, very rarely got less than $200. So
And you were tipping as well. You had to tip as well,
that
didn't you?
sounds about right. I hate to say it, but it sounds about right about now.
20% tipping is what's expected of you pretty much at this moment in time.
Well, no.
So
So to be fair, if you do an adequate job, 15% is about what is expected. 20% is if you're doing a good job. But remember, tip, the acronym is to ensure proper service. So your server has to work to get their tip. You don't just get a tip. You have to earn
and
it.
some of them got 15. Some of them that didn't give me the blowjob didn't get the 20.
I've given a few 10s out. There's even been less on occasion, but usually my bottom ceiling is 15%.
Well, what I gotta say is one thing that I've discovered. I dreamt about this, and I mentioned this while I was away. So, you go to steakhouse, you get the beautiful steak, right? You've got Outback, which is Australian, and then you've got Longhorn, and these are chain places. But the Outback, I really like. It's a good Australian place. Lovely, lovely steaks. So, but this side dish, I've been dreaming about since the last time I was out there, and it's a baked potato, a one of the orange ones, a sweet potato, right? Pete, fucking wow, comes out open, cooked baked potato, but the innards of that is like some God-given fucking manna from heaven. You want to put your cock cage in it and fill it up and eat it like it's just unbelievable.
That's disturbing.
I couldn't stop. And seriously, I brought this up.
What's it called? What's it
Well,
called?
it's
a sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
It's just a side dish.
It's a sweet potato. It's like a baked potato, but it's a yam
potato.
basically. Or
Okay,
sweet
so
potato.
we have them here, and you can buy them here, and you can have baked potatoes, and they're lovely, and it is like potato, but it's sweet. But in America, everything is not doubly sweet; it's 6 times sweet. Okay, so. But I had to ask. Because the last time I was like, it's butter in it. It's just the butter, and maybe a wee bit of brown sugar, and that's right. So there's brown sugar in it, but there is this thing, Pete. There's this thing I never heard of before. It's called honey butter. Have you ever heard of honey butter?
Honey butter.
Honey butter is the bomb. Also excellent with cornbread.
Yep.
So in this baked potato is some brown sugar and honey butter. So when you scoop fuck me! The steak was class. It was medium rare. It was juicy. It was a beautiful sirloin steak. But this fucking baked potato, I had to ask. I asked the girl, "What is in this? Can you tell me?" Because I've been dreaming about it for 2 years. Honey butter. Americans have a thing called honey butter.
Okay, real quick. We need to talk about some food real fast because I've actually been meaning to get this off my chest. So,
oh shit, here we go.
Robin sent me a care package a few months back. He sent me a 6-pack of Heinz beans.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To classic red tomato beans.
Told you had to have them. Yep, on toast.
I have tried them.
Yes.
Absolute crap. Oh my God. You guys have the worst beans in the history of beans, and I will prove it because, Robin, I'm going to eventually send you some absolute good steakhouse beans. And let me just tell you, yeah, I do not.
Okay.
Your Heinz beans are bland. That's the problem. They're bland. They're bland.
A1 sauce sucks donkey balls compared to HP sauce. All right?
I'll give you that. I'm not a big A1 fan.
Fuck me.
But
beans.
yeah. Oh,
57 varieties, Greg. 57 varieties. There aren't 57 varieties, by the way. It only says that in the can. Well, I'll rise to your challenge. Okay. Is there anything else you want to complain about?
No, but I would like to actually real quickly.
Hershey's chocolate?
No,
I had chocolate with bacon in it when I was away.
The bacon chocolate, Robin, that's your fault. That is absolutely on you. You are experimenting with just like the dregs of the world when it comes to candy when you're looking at bacon chocolate.
Yeah. It wasn't Universal Studios, and it was a Homer Simpson thing in that part of the world.
Now the truth comes out.
Yeah. Okay.
Real quickly, though,
well,
we did have a fantastic Christmas dinner. I forgot to talk about this. We went to the steakhouse here at the casino, and the manager there, who we know very well, he actually gifted us a bottle of Nickel and Nickel wine, which that's about $100 bottle of wine at the store. So in the restaurant, it's probably going to be closer to 150, 200. And then he just hooked us up with some appetizers. So my parents and I and our family just had a fantastic Christmas dinner. 5 of us, our bill came up to $344 total. And that didn't count the wine and the appetizers that he actually gave us. So we ate well.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
No, I was good. I was good. We got speaking to them. I don't know if that was before or after that. It was probably before. Well, was that Christmas Day? I called you from the pool. I was sitting around the pool.
Yes, yeah. You were showboating at the pool. It was awesome.
I was pissed. Yeah. It's funny. One other thing when you're talking about the appetizers, we did go to this thing. It was a pirate's adventure. Like it was like a pirate boat, and I went VIP all the way and booked the VIP tickets, and we had the front row. And we arrived in the place, and our pirate guy brought us to our table, and there was three people sitting in our seats, and he sort of went, yeah, sit here. And it got very awkward, and this guy, people were seeming they were late. They were supposed to be there for the afternoon show, and then they were asked to move, and it was all very awkward. But they give us free appetizers and extra drink and booze, and it was good fun. That was good pirate show. Anyway, sorry, I'll finish off. Universal Studios back into it are my favorite park, and there's some new rides I haven't been on. The Jurassic roller coaster. Holy shit!
Yes.
Hulk is the fastest coaster. It was the fastest coaster in Universal, and it sort of accelerated to 55, 60 miles per hour, and out of the chute, and it's class, and there's multiple loops in it, and it's still awesome and smooth and gorgeous. Jurassic Coaster opened earlier on in the year, and it accelerates to 55 miles an hour, and it does weird and wonderful loops, and it's fantastic, and then it catches you out. And it accelerates again halfway through up to nearly 70 miles an hour, and is unbelievable. It scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, there's one dip where you are going down where I felt myself out of my chair. I mean, I was in the harness, but you could feel yourself lifting. Oh yeah. I mean, I was hooking my legs underneath my seat because it just was that unnerving.
Could I say it's enjoyable?
Yes. Come on. Of course it is.
Yeah. Okay. So there's another new one which we hadn't been on, which is Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Now it's absolutely beautiful. So you sit on the motorbike and sidecar from Harry Potter that Hagrid delivered Harry Potter to the house in, that sidecar thing. And so one person's in the sidecar and one person, I was on the motorbike. And it's in this Harry Potter world, and it's an adventure, and it is fast. There is no loopies in it.
Right.
But it's wonderful. It's almost a story, and it is exciting, and it's fun. But Jurassic Coaster is like getting your head bashed in with a gold brick with a piece of lemon wrapped around it. It really is fucking wow. So really, really good. If you ever get to Universal, you know the Hulk, yes, definitely. And Jurassic Coaster and Hagrid's are up there. Now I did get on Shrek 4D, and it's closing. It's closing now. Actually, it's gone.
Okay.
Shrek plus 4D is gone. I'll never be on. And I stole a set of the Shrek 3D glasses. So a nice wee bit of memorabilia for the man cave. So that was that. And finally, I did say that I was going to, almost finally, come back with some noodles. And I came back with 2 big boxes of ramen noodles. We were those people at the airport that had to shuffle stuff around in cases.
Love it.
The weight was wrong. We had to open up. Yeah. So I had my first packet of imported noodles today again. It was brilliant. So yeah, it's like imported champagne, imported noodles. They just taste so much better. And the final thing I really am, this is the last thing I'm going to mention, is when I was away, I was in Walmart, as you do, and I get blown away every time I walk into a super Walmart. It's the scale and size of it. Well, maybe apart from the Bass Pro Shop, it's completely. That's an experience as well. Look at all the guns for the guys. But yeah, a Walmart. So in Walmart, and I picked up a nice copy of Stan Lee's latest book. I know he's dead. And it's called A Trick of the Light. Okay, so Stan Lee died in 2018, and this book came out in 2019. And he wrote it with 2 other guys. And it's the Dark Alliance, or the Alliance series. There's now, they're continuing and on. And I think there's 2 other books now after this. And I started reading this on the plane on the way home, and it is flipping awesome. And if this series of books turns into films, brilliant. In the audio book, which is available, he does the introduction before he died, which is really nice. But
that is nice.
But the book is awesome. It is about
he died, but all right.
So yeah, well, this is a sign.
What did Kim say then?
Yeah, this is the signed copy. Yeah, not. Yeah, there's a wee bit of dead skin on it. No, Neil. So it's about this. There's two characters in it so far. There's a girl who seems to be locked in a basement who has anger issues and really has been locked up by her father. She has some sort of superpower, not quite sure yet. And there's this guy who wants to be famous on YouTube and never isn't really. He's the dorky high school kid, and he gets struck by lightning in Lake Erie, and all of a sudden he can hear or influence electronic devices. So he can see what's on your mobile phone. He can make your mobile phone take a photograph of you. He can listen to the computer down the street. He can play a video game and adjust his skin and avatar, or make adjustments to the game as he's playing it. And these two characters come together, and that's kind of where I am at the moment. And it's really, really good and really well written. So that's called A Trick of Light. Stan Lee, and there's a couple of other writers there, but really, really good, and it's nice to read a bit of Stan Lee, because I do have above me is Stan Lee's real signature and the Astonishing Ant-Man comic first edition, which is nice up there. So I'm a bit of a Stan Lee fan, so I have that. So yes, we had a really good trip. It's lovely to be back. We had done lots of fabulous things. We from Gatorland to Universal to really, really good food. We didn't hold back. We had lots of good fun, good drink. We had a lovely house, but it's always nice to get home to your own bed. But we'll be out as soon as we can. As soon as we can get back out again, Greg, and Kim, we'll be out there, because Vegas is calling. So as soon as, but I don't think I want people to start to get fucking sensible about life and risk, because it's just fucking nutballs out crazy out there at the moment. It really is. Be safe, people. Be sensible. And if you are sick or vulnerable, take precautions. Get your vaccinations. Even though now I see somebody celebrating their fourth vaccination this morning. Seriously, it's just fucking nothing. It's just.
Oh, they filled up their bingo card.
Okay. So if you had your car in to get fixed, right, 3 times, right, and they put this new oil in it 3 times to make it go better, right, and after the 3rd time it still broke down because it didn't work, you'd be a bit pissed off. Well, I've had 2 vaccinations and a booster, and I still got sick. Now, maybe I didn't get as sick as I was going to be. That's the thing that people say, but I'm still pissed off that it hasn't worked. And now they're even talking about a 4th. So when does it stop? When does it become? Do you know what? I'll spin the roulette wheel here.
Let's move on. Let's talk about video games.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Happy. Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
I am a COVID survivor.
You are.
Anyway.
And we're gonna talk about video games here now. All right. So, Kim,
yes.
I see we have an updated list of games available for this year. These, of course, are all games that we have paid subscriptions for that we get for free. So let's talk about those.
Alrighty. Your games with gold for January, which I have to admit, I think we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. But whatever. It's just because I haven't heard of most of these. But anyway, we have Neuro Voider, which is available now to the end of the month. Aground, which is available the 16th to February 15th. Radiant Silver Gun, which I guess I have heard of, but I don't know any more than the title. So whatever. Which is available now through the 15th. And Space Invaders Infinity Gene, which is available the 16th through the 31st. Which, yes, I've heard of Space Invaders, but not this one. So whatever, free games. Go and check them out. For your PlayStation Plus, we have Persona 5 Strikers, Dirt 5. There's a lot of 5 going on. And Deep Rock Galactic. So, there you go. Twitch Prime games, I don't know yet. As far as I know, though, until tomorrow, I think you can still pick up Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Frostpunk, Journey to the Savage Planet, Football Manager 2021.
Easy for you to say.
Right. Morkred, Spellcaster University, YouTuber's Life, Stubbs the Zombie, and the Tales of Monkey Island Complete Pack. So, we also have Stadia Pro. Believe me, it is still a thing, apparently.
Amazing.
Darksiders 3, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Shantae, Risky's Revenge, Director's Cut, which kind of sounds like really trashy porn, but whatever. The Dark Side Detective, A Fumble in the Dark, which also kind of sounds... Anyway. DreamWorks Dragons, Dawn of the New Writers, which I think is a Dragons, Writers of Berk sort of thing. Epic Game Store, we have Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which will be available until the 6th. And then once the 6th gets here, we will have Gods Will Fall. So
I would just like to say I prefer to play Tomb Raider.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
That's many, I'm sure.
There's stuff to play. There's free games to check out. I mean, they are free, even though we paid for them.
Right.
But yeah. So, okay, let's talk about what we've actually been playing. Robin, I don't know how much you were able to play on the go or not, but let's start with you. You're muted. No, still muted. Better.
I got Super Smash Brothers for the Switch.
Okay. Have you actually played it yet?
No.
Okay. Good talk. Good talk.
I played Pac-Man on the Switch,
All
but
right.
it was like Pac-Man, like Fortnite Pac-Man. It's like, so you started off with 100 players, and you ended up down to the winner. So it's the same sort of. We all played one time. So it's 100 players all at once. You survive as long as you can, and that's it. So the winner is the person who survives the longest, which is interesting. I played some games that when I was away. And I played Mousy Find a Hole as well when I was away. That was good fun.
Mousy Find a Hole.
But no other. Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds kind of dirty if you ask me. But
It does indeed. All right.
Right?
Kim.
And it's Robin, so I'm
I
a
know.
little hesitant.
I didn't really want to ask. I didn't want to ask.
I know, right? All right. I busted out the Switch the other day and played a little Ori and the Blind Forest, which was fun. So, and which is nice. I have to give my Switch a little shout out because, believe it or not, I haven't picked it up. Oh God, I didn't remember when, and the battery was still charged to 100%. So, hey, look at that. But Ori and the Blind Forest, which I don't know, in my opinion, it seems like I can get along with it better on the Switch than with a controller on the big TV. I don't know why that is. It's a platformer, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I played a little Dear Esther, the Landmark Edition. I had this game in my pile of shame, and I don't know why, because when I started up and started to play it, I don't know, maybe I bought it because of Edith Finch, and I really liked Edith Finch.
Yeah, it was good.
But Dear Esther is a little boring. I mean, it really is one of those. It definitely is one of those walking simulator games.
Walk and read, yeah.
Yeah, that's all you do is you walk around, and I still haven't figured this guy's thing out. But you walk around this island, and this guy is reading letters, apparently to Esther, hence the title. So you just walk around this island, apparently trying to find this blinking light that's in the horizon. But I don't know. I played it for like 15 minutes, and yeah, pretty much. That's about as far as I got. Otherwise, I played some Forza Horizon 5 today with Boomer and just goofing around, finding different things to do. So, that's pretty much been it. I was surprised I played even that much, given as busy as I've been, but here we are.
Yeah, gaming time has been a bit of a premium, I have to say, or
right?
Yeah, it's just been a challenge. Pete, maybe you were able to scrap together some good gaming time.
Not particularly.
Good job,
I'm
Pete.
afraid not. No. I played some Rocket League with my son today. I've played some Days Gone here and there, like for the odd hour, just to complete a couple of tasks here and there, but nothing major. Daisy. So I installed it and I played 20 minutes of it and I uninstalled that shit because that is absolutely shocking. It's buggy as hell. It's just like it's a survival video game, isn't it? I didn't even played it long enough to even go there. But it was buggy as hell, froze everywhere. It was difficult to pick stuff up. There was no clear. Well, I suppose you've got to survive, but there's no clear indicator of like what you've got to do, and it was awful. The sound was awful. It's out of sync. I just didn't like it. It was crap. So I just uninstalled it.
I'm with you, Pete. I tried it at one time and I just did not get on with it at all. So I'm with you.
No, didn't like it. So I had a couple of hours, and I thought, well, I had the Xbox in front of me, and I've already installed it. And I thought, well, do you know what? I said to Greg that I'd play it, so I fired up Halo.
Wow! Oh wow! And
well, I don't know how far I am into the camp. I'm probably not far at all. I'm trying to think of his name. It's the first boss fight, I think, that you. I like. Let me start from the beginning. Right.
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. You're welcome.
So. So when I started the game, I thought I was going to be playing in the scene where where you're skipping from like different pieces of the spacecraft, like you're pushing through and you're using the parts of the spacecraft, aren't you, just to bounce around and navigate your way through to the main ship. I thought that part of the game you'd be playing that a little bit more like you'd be playing it as opposed to just watching it happen. So I was a bit disappointed about that. I don't like, how I said before, I found Halo or the online multiplayer as well that I played like very boring to look at.
Right.
So the first part of the game,
you're on this but it didn't compute.
You're on this ship, and like the whole environment is just boring.
It's a
There's
spaceship.
nothing there.
It's a spaceship.
It's shit. It's a shit spaceship. When you play something like
I don't
Star
understand
Wars
you.
or something like that.
This has to be the ginger.
Spaceship.
No,
I think this is just Halo hate because.
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of what was that other game that Robin fancies the pants off and it's really shit as well? Is it Mass Effect?
Mass Effect.
It reminded me of that. It was just so dull. It's like, it really pissed me off. But I like the
beef jerky at you.
Thanks. Sorry, get it in there. Right there. And I like the gameplay. It's very smooth. I like the weapons. I like I like the weapons. There's things I don't like. One thing is like when you play campaigns like this and they're running through like a battle zone or something like that. They're talking like they were sitting down at a desk and they're talking through. They're talking on a like we are now. They're sitting at a desk and they're talking, having conversation with people. But this guy is running through a spaceship and he's blasting aliens, and like the sounds just don't sound right to the gameplay that you're actually like going through. Gears of War, right? When you play Gears of War, the voice changes, like the pitches change, and you get distortion, and you get like it's a lot more realistic. This isn't. It's just.
I honestly don't know what game you're
with
playing.
With a gun like a chainsaw is more realistic.
I don't know. Anyway. I got to the boss. What's he called? Tremendious or something like that.
Tremendous.
You got to the first boss fight. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, am I spoiling something then?
No. I just don't know the name of the first boss fight, so it's a boss fight.
Yeah, but he was good. That was a good fight, and I'm out of whatever environment I was in, like an underground, whatever, and I'm outside now, where I've not played anymore. The gate or door to the ship opened, or wherever I was, the underground chamber, and it was a very pretty like outdoor scene. And I thought, do you know what? I was very disappointed with all of the last 2 hours that I've played. I'm going to park that now, and then I'm going to start playing from where I left off another day to see how that pans out. But
and you're going to play with
overall,
somebody.
Yeah, always have
No,
to.
he's not going to play with anybody. He can't.
No, I'm not.
It's solo
Why?
only. There's no co-op
Yeah,
yet.
that's why I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Oh.
co-op will come soon, eventually.
Oh.
And Pete would get mad at us anyways, because I remember last time we tried playing co-op, we were having a bit of fun, and Pete got all angry because he wanted to listen to the story.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even listen to what was going on because you lot was shouting. But even then, I probably ain't missing much, am I? I don't know. It didn't grab me, Greg. I don't know what it is.
I think this is just more signs of the premature thing, Pete. I don't know what else to tell you.
It's not. There's pills for that, and
I know.
I'm fine.
I think we need to give you some pills.
At this point, I want to quote from the latest Stan Lee book, A Trick of Light. He never realized before how much the internet, that grand experiment that's supposed to unite the world, has made every single person on earth more divided and tribal than ever. Everyone in their bubbles lashing out without understanding or empathy, hungry for an enemy to hate. This is Pete about Halo. Without empathy or understanding, he just hates it. Thank you, Stan Lee. That was a wonderful reading. In fact, do you know what? I have never, ever, ever, apart from reading the Bible once, I've never, ever, ever caught myself going, I like that line. I'm going to get a highlighter and highlight it. I highlighted that line for future use. Thank you, Stan Lee. Stan Lee and Pete Chin. There you go. You hate things without understanding or empathy. Move on.
I would just like to point out my favorite game right now is playing Adjust Robin's video, because your screen is constantly changing, and I think it's the bandwidth of the phone, and so it gets small, it gets big, it gets small, it gets big. So yeah, there's that. So right now it's Tiny Robin.
Judith complains all the time.
I squish your head. Okay.
So I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry it's not what you want to hear. But
no, it's okay. The uneducated, it's okay, Pete. It's okay. We take pity on you.
No.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Now I'm in the outside environment. I might enjoy it a little bit more. But it's so you've got to admit it's so bland.
No, Pete. I
no,
absolutely not.
Lovely.
I've thoroughly been enjoying my time with the campaign. In fact, I'll talk about that.
No, I didn't say that the campaign is shit. I didn't say the story itself is shit. It's the environment that you're playing. It really puts me off because it's just so dull.
Pete, it's the inside of a ship. I'm not sure what I expect from you.
I'm not sure what exactly you want to happen, but
that's okay, Pete. It's okay. You're allowed to your opinion. It's okay.
So glad I'm not into space travel, and I'm never going to be able to be in.
I wish
any
you were
of that
into space
shit
traveling
going forward because I was so bored.
Yeah, you'd probably be like, "This is the most realistic environment I've ever seen." Anyway, so I have played a little bit of Halo Infinite campaign. Lifesavers, we do need lifesavers. I did look at the sale, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a couple things in the sale. So I picked up, I ended up buying MLB's 2021 MLB The Show. It was like $9. So I was like, all right, I'll pick that up. And then I went ahead and bought Phoenix Point, the Behemoth Edition, which is basically the upgraded version of the Phoenix Point game. Includes all the latest DLC, as well as some updates to the game for the Series X. And I am all in love with this game all over again. The additions are really nice. They have made some good life changes in terms of quality of life stuff for the UI, for how the story unfolds. And I feel like they actually have adjusted some of the difficulty level within the game. Because I think before it was a bit punishing in terms of resources, and it feels like that has changed a little bit. And I don't know if that's because of the DLC and how it unfolds, but it just feels like the game opens up quicker and gives you more resources to do more things with it faster than it did before. So very much enjoying that. and I was actually playing a little bit of that this morning. So, and in fact, it's kind of funny because in the old XCOM, the original XCOM game, there was moments where your ship could be attacked by a UFO, and that was a big part of the original XCOM game. And it was not in Phoenix Point at all, which was interesting because the creator of Phoenix Point is the original creator of XCOM. So I had expected that in this game, but it wasn't there. Lo and behold, now that I'm playing the new edition, sure enough, today, after my mission was complete, I'm getting my transport coming back to the base, and suddenly a UFO was trying to intercept my ship, and there was a dogfight. And so just it's a nice nod to the original game. I love that it's back in this game. And so I'm not sure why I never saw it in the original. If maybe it was missing in the first iteration of this game and they updated it, I don't know. But it's there now, and I couldn't be happier. So if you like your turn-based tactics game, if you liked XCOM, Phoenix Point is a game you should embrace. And that's it for my games.
Oh, okay.
That being said, we don't really have news to talk about, but
No.
we've been talking about games that left an impression on us in the past couple episodes, and I thought, well, okay, let's just do the proper. What are the games that we took away from 2021 as being our top 5? It doesn't have to be top 5; it could be top 2, whatever. But the games that we really kind of hold as being our top games of this past year that we played. And so I wanted to do that. We'll do it round robin, no pun intended. And just kind of go round and round and just list off games. Doesn't have to be in order if you don't want it to be. It can be any order, but start with a game. Pete, what game would you say is in your top 5 or so?
I really enjoyed 12 Minutes.
Really?
That was a good. I was really looking forward to this game anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I liked 12 Minutes, but the control scheme for me was a big turnoff. You were able to power through that, or did you play it on PC?
Yeah. No, I played it on Xbox.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I couldn't live with things like that. Yeah, I was just more. I think I was just more focused on the story and what new things I was discovering every time I was replaying each loop, and I loved it.
Okay. So 12 Minutes, would you, if we're going to rate it, is it at the bottom of your list or is it at the top?
I'd say that was at the bottom. So that's number 5.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Robin, what about you? Let's talk about games you played this past year.
I apologize. I didn't prepare for this. The thing that is, again, I said it before already, that the Mass Effect remaster is what I've spent the most time with this year. I've completed Mass Effect 1 and completed Mass Effect 2, and I'm well into Mass Effect 3 with all of the DLC.
Okay.
And just before I went away, I played another few hours of it, and it's fabulous. I love it. I don't think it looks boring. The revamp is fabulous, and the characters and the stories are really, really good. And I remember a few years back, EA said they would never, ever do a revamp, and I'm glad they did. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that Mass Effect universe. In fact, I'd love to see a Mass Effect movie. I think he would be a good character. I think they could put together something really, really good.
Could be interesting
with that. So it's Mass Effect for me, Greg. Unless there's something else that jumps out at me.
Let me ask you this tough question, or think about this, and we'll come back to you on this. But if
or the Xbox Series X, the new Xbox, what came out for it that was I've missed?
No. What I want to ask you, Robin, and we'll circle back to you so you can think about this one.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll mention that.
Which of the 3 would you rate best out of Mass Effect?
1, which is really
okay.
strange. I would have always said 2, and always people raved about 1, about being the depth of it and being really, really good and really good RPG, and you had more control over the character and the weapons and the upgrades. And I never thought, Mass Effect 2 is more like it. It's more like a run and gun sort of movie, sort of game. But playing this time around, they've adjusted and tweaked Mass Effect 1 just enough that I actually get it. I get the depth, and I loved Mass Effect 1 so far. There's things that they added in 2. I loved the mining for resources. I know it was people that hated it at the time. We went to send out probes, and you had to go and scan the planet. but they took all of that out of 3, and it seemed kind of pointless. And the upgrades of the weapons in 3 seemed kind of pointless, and the RPG got less and less as it went on, and became more and more run and gun shooter. So 1 definitely. Okay, so that's that. So the other thing that I would say the most fantastic thing I've enjoyed about gaming this year is the Xbox Series X loading times.
Well, loading
Seriously,
times for
that
this
is
next gen has been fantastic.
It's just unbelievable, and the access to free games. I've played so many different games this year. I game with my career, work-wise, and other bits and pieces that I've had going on. My time has been very limited, but the stuff that they've done with the Game Pass thing is just phenomenal. I think it's very, very hard to go past Xbox now. They're really so impressed. But loading times on the Xbox Series X, I know it's not a big thing. I know you've got the Series S, Pete, and it's fine. You can wait a minute or two, but
PS5 also has super fast loading times.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Well, you've got used to that already. Then it's just that is a phenomenal thing. That's lovely. They come back in and go, you're straight back into it again. It's like I was in my like early teens and early 20s. It was just you were straight there, hard and ready to go.
Don't want to hear anymore. Kim, let's talk about a game that stood out for you.
All right.
What made your top list?
I guess the bottom of the list would be Arise, a simple story, which is just that, a simple story. You're, I think, a village chieftain. You've passed away, and you're on your way to, I assume, heaven or Valhalla, whatever. And you're reliving some of the things in your past, meeting your wife, getting married, having a child, maybe losing a child, and they're going through various little points in his life and how he became leader and that sort of thing. And it kind of one of those games that kind of got you right in the feels, So it was a good game. There was a little, glitch to it every now and again, but for what it was, like I said, a simple story, it was really good. So.
Okay. Arise, a simple story. So this will be a bit controversial.
Oh boy.
I have 5 games that I would consider my top games from this year that I really enjoyed, that I would say recommend the most. Forza Horizon 5 is my 5th.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I played it.
I very much
but
enjoyed
I moaned
it.
about it too.
Yeah. But I think I had played it, but I'd also played some Forza Horizon 4 recently prior to it, and so as great as it is, and it is fantastic, and it's deserving of every accolade it gets, but to me, there were other games I engaged with more than I did Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, and I touched on this, and I played maybe 10, 12, 15 hours of the new one. And as you know, I'm a lovely racing fan. Goodness me, I made the pilgrimage to Daytona race circuit when I was away. And it's beautiful. It's probably the best ever casual arcade racing game that they've ever made. But before that, Forza Horizon 4 was the best arcade racing game they ever made. And I don't see the fucking leap. I really don't. I don't see the difference. I guess it's more beautiful. There's more pixels, but racing against some fighter jet or a helicopter or a boat or something like that there is the same as Forza Horizon 4, which is the same as Forza Horizon 3, which was the same as Forza Horizon 2. Yeah, it's great. It's the best one you can possibly get, but it's the law of diminishing returns with the Forza Horizon games.
Yeah.
I need a proper Forza racing simulator type game again.
You'll get that. You're definitely going to get that. But I'm excited for Playground to see what they do with Fable.
Me too.
Yes,
I'm excited about that.
I cannot wait for that.
I'm ready.
All right, Pete. Yeah. Let's go back to you, Pete. What else made your top list?
So my number 4 was Maneater. I was really surprised at this game. Now, you talk about run, gun, Robin. This is more like a swim and bite. There's not much else that you really have to do. So you just race around.
I have a story.
Oh,
I'll tell you at the end. Okay, I'll tell you at the end. This is brilliant. Okay, right. Carry on. Right.
Surprisingly for me, this was a real good game, and I put a lot of time into it. I thought it was great. I wasn't expecting it to be as good and as addictive as it was. I remember you talking about it, Greg, and I thought, I'll give it a try, and I'm so glad that I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it was purely down to Game Pass again and having that subscription service. If it wasn't for that, I would have never ever. I would never buy this game off the shelf. So having that service has really, given me an insight into games that I would never normally play. And this has got to be definitely a good number 4 mention, I think, of this year. I enjoyed it. It was funny. The campaign was funny. The story behind it going on, and it was. I just found it really enjoyable.
Okay, excellent. All right then.
Okay, quick story.
Yes.
So before I went away, I watched people like Rick's Flicks, and there's a few other people on the YouTube about the concentrate on Universal Studios and things like that. And there's this thing at this bar, which is down near where the old Jaws ride was, which is where the Jaws shark still hangs. And there's a cocktail bar there. And there's this thing that they do called a shark attack. It's a cocktail. But allegedly, it's on the menu as Shark Attack. But if allegedly on YouTube, if you go to the cocktail bar and ask for the Shark Attack and make it bloody, they do something very special. And I thought, this is a load of crap. Yeah. So Judith and I are there, and we drop the kids with Joshua, and off we went. I'm going to get this cocktail. And can I have a Shark Attack, please? And can I have a bloody? And I'm going, is she really going to do it? So this girl, she makes the cocktail as normal. I says, you're going to make that bloody, aren't you? And she says, yeah. She says, you really going to do this? And she says, yeah. So she reaches underneath the counter and she picks up this hand puppet Jaws shark and the bottle of red bread, whatever fucking red thing she puts in the cocktail, and she goes, bloody, attack, bloody, and she puts the red liquid into the drink and attacks me with a shark puppet. It's brilliant. Anyway. Yeah, I missed that. It was brilliant. It was worth the $20. It really was. But the old Jaws ride on Universal was fantastic. But that's a nice throwback to it. So Shark, if you're in Universal Studios, Shark Attack, you can make it bloody. Nothing will happen. But if you make it bloody, you get the whole theater. It's really good. Anyway,
I wish I had known that. I would have done that. That sounds awesome.
That was so good.
Okay, where does that leave us? Robin, were there any other games you wanted to mention? As you think about
I can't. I'm 3/4 away through a bottle of wine, and I can't.
That's all right. Okay. That's all right. Kim, let's go to you.
Alrighty.
What else made your top games?
Well, before I carry on with mine, Hardly Dan posted in the chat his top 5 games.
Yes.
So
let's give a shout out, by the way, to the chat.
So,
Dan's a good lad.
Here's his top 5 games. We have The Artful Escape, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Forza Horizon 5, Lawn Mowing Simulator. Didn't see that one. I know, right? And Halo Infinite were his top 5.
Okay. So, Pete, again, being proven wrong.
Yep, apparently. My next game was Song of Iron, which came out this year. I know, I played a game that actually came out this year. It's surprising. Oh. It was developed by basically a one-man development team, which for the life of me, the name escapes me. But it was one of those games where you start out in what you assume to be a Viking village. Your whole village is wiped out, so you go on a quest to the gods to get them to help you kick the guy who wiped out your village ass, And so you go on this journey and do your things, and I'm not going to spoil it because there is a twist in the middle of this fucking thing that I was not expecting by any stretch of the imagination. But, for a little game, like I said, one dude developed it, basically. It was really good. And it wasn't expensive, like $20. So hopefully there's a follow-up to it. I mean, hopefully there's some sort of sequel because I don't want to say necessarily it was a cliffhanger, but then in a way it was. So I hope that there's more to it so you kind of can go on. So yeah, Song of Iron. If you like Viking games with a little twist in it, then I suggest it.
Okay.
So
how long was that, by the way?
Oh, it wasn't it wasn't very long because like I said, I drug it out because it's me and I'm slow. But I say if you sat down and played it, maybe 10 hours.
Oh, okay.
Right. It wasn't super.
Okay.
It wasn't super long.
Okay.
So.
All right. Speaking of Vikings, so Pete, we just talked about Song of Iron. What else do you want to talk about in terms of your top games?
It Takes Two. This is my number 3.
Yes.
It usually does take 2. Generally.
Not always. Sometimes it just takes one. Game.
Right?
If you've never played this game, seriously, just get on it. It's so good. I still haven't finished it yet, but that's purely just because of availability and of me and Shell playing at the same time. But it's just so good. Yeah, if you've got someone in your family that likes video games, or someone who you play online with regularly, fire this game up because it's well worth it.
And real quick, Pete, you have to play co-op. You can't play this like single player at all, right? There's no way to play it.
That's
solo.
right.
Okay.
No, it has to be. Yeah, but the one good thing is it's the same with a lot of other games. When you purchase it, you only need to purchase it once. It doesn't need to be both people that purchase it. So
I'm assuming it has online co-op.
Yeah.
Okay. Local
online
co-op,
and
couch co-op too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good.
Okay.
Real good.
I mean, it did get Game of the Year, so I mean, there is that. It definitely has some pedigree for it. Not to mention Joseph. I forgot his last name. The guy that made it. He's pretty awesome.
Don't know anything about him.
Look up his award speeches. Look up his when he gets awards at the Game Awards. Just watch his speeches on YouTube. It's pretty comical.
Okay.
All right. I guess that comes to me.
Okay. Yeah, I have some more, by the way.
Okay, excellent. Well, Robin, then do you want to go ahead and cast one off?
Yeah, I want to talk about Ride 4 because it's one of the first games. It's a motorbike racing game, and it's one of the first games. And I think, Pete, at the time we had this on the podcast, where I couldn't tell the difference between the real thing and a computer game.
It was look so good.
My local circuit, the Northwest 200. I haven't given it tons of time, but just on the graphics alone, it is just phenomenal. I was going, there's no way that, I mean, it is 90% or 95% accurate, and for as far as this local motorcycle racing road circuit's concerned, one of the fastest circuits in the world. You know, on local 2-lane roads, they're touching 220 miles an hour. And the feeling of that on this road and the realism, knowing where it is, like 30 miles from where I am right now, is just phenomenal. So Ride 4, really well with your look at. And if my local circuit is that accurate, what is your local circuit like? So Ride 4, it's cheap to pick up. It's not a full price game.
20 quid.
Go grab it. Yeah, go grab it.
Okay.
That's that.
All right. So
I have more.
For me, bit of a toss-up, but I'm going to go with The Ascent.
Cool.
The Ascent is my number 4 this year. I very much enjoyed this game.
Really?
Yes.
How far did you get down the hole, Greg?
I got down the hole very far. I'm not quite finished, but I absolutely love this game. This was my Cyberpunk fix. Because Cyberpunk did not make my list, even though I think if I had gone back to it, it might have, because on the new consoles, that game plays really well. But I just didn't play enough of that to really be able to say, was it good or not? But I thoroughly enjoyed my time with The Ascent. It was, you don't have to think a lot to it, even though it's got some RPG elements to it. It's just a fun twin stick shooter. It gets manic, and that was absolutely what I wanted from it, and it delivered that in spades. And it oozes atmosphere. They know how to put Cyberpunk on the screen. You got the neon lights, the craziness. You've got the different kind of weapon upgrades. It ticked all the boxes that I wanted. So, The Ascent.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, Pete, we're going to come back to you then.
Okay. I've just purchased Ride 4, Robin, because it's £17 and 49 pence on the PlayStation Store.
Look at that. In real time.
I know. I did like the look of that game.
Sorry, man.
What was it? Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart was my number 2. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game before, and having a PS5 and being new to Sony games for, or should I say Sony? It was just, I'll say new to Sony. I had a PlayStation 1 and 2, but anyway, it's been a long time since I've had a Sony console. So firing up the PS5 and having this game with it, man, it was just so good. It really, really, it. I don't know. It just made me like it. That gave me gave me mojo again. I think that game. I kind of like fell off the boil a little bit, and I just as I started that game up, it was like playing a cartoon movie. It was just unreal. The graphics are so good. It's a bit intense at times on the old lamps. You know, if you're playing that game for a long time, your eyes really do start to hurt because there's just so much color, so much going on, lots of flashing, and from the weaponry and stuff like that. It's very, very pretty. The story's amazing, and there's even some real tough boss fights in that. It's just such a good game, and there's lots of little side quests that you can do that to waste more time on it if you wanted to. But I just wanted to just play through the campaign and then get rid of the game. It was it wasn't something that I particularly wanted to keep. And there's other games on the PS5 that I wanted to play, but just because it was with it, I thought I'll give it a go. And it ended up being like one of my favorite games of this year. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, excellent. Kim.
Alrighty. My number 2 is Hades.
Hades. That's a really good game.
It really is. It was kind of a tough choice to put it first or second, but I went second with it. And I like it. I like the gameplay. I like the dialogue. I like the soundtrack. I mean, for one of those games where you get you try to get as far as you can get before you get your ass kicked, and then you've got to start over, which normally would irritate me. This does not. I don't know if it's the way they go about it or what it is necessarily, but I didn't mind having my ass kicked and being asked to start over, because you go back and then there might be some different dialogue going on with one of the characters you're talking to. You might have unlocked something, and it made going back and dying repeatedly fun, which is a hard thing to do sometimes. So yeah, Hades, it's on Game Pass, so it's free if you have Game Pass, and if you want to try it, then go for it. I've tried some other roguelike dungeon crawler things that are kind of the same thing, and I didn't get along with them nearly as well as I did with Hades this year. So
yeah, Hades it has that magical blend of, it's a roguelike, but there's also some progression to it. So you never feel like you're totally being punished for dying. Right. Unlike other roguelikes where you die and you are absolutely punished.
That's right.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Finally, for me,
yes,
a really oldie, we're going back to 360 times here, which was a game that came out on 360 when the main game came out on Xbox One, and then long after it came out on Xbox One, it was remastered on Xbox One, and now I'm playing it on Xbox Series X, which is Assassin's Creed Rogue. Now, one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And Assassin's Creed Rogue came out on the Xbox 360 as sort of a consolation prize for Xbox 360 owners who hadn't got an Xbox One. And I think it didn't sell massively well because it was the end of the generation, and it didn't come out on Xbox One initially. But it is Black Flag, and but it has a lot more fighting and stuff in it. It has the boating, the sailing bit, the ships and the cannons and all of that. I mean, it has the adventuring, and I've played the majority of it, not all of it, but it has that vibe. It has the simple Assassin's Creed stuff. Yes, it has lots of stuff on the map, but not as crazy as some of the other newer games, which are just impossible. So many different side quests, so many different things to do. But if you want if you want to get back to original Assassin's Creed 2-ish, that joy of Assassin's Creed, the simple exploring, being a pirate, or Assassin's Creed Rogue is probably as cheap as chips. It looks great now on Xbox Series X and Xbox One, and I'm sure on PlayStation as well. Pick it up and play it, because the gameplay is fab, and it was a little gem that was overlooked. So pick it up.
Okay.
Awesome.
I think for me, the next game is Phoenix Point. It was going to actually be Psychonauts 2, I think was going to be making the list, but then Phoenix Point came out with their updates, and I've just been enjoying the crap out of that. So it had to make my top 5 this year. So it snuck in there, and very much enjoying that, getting me that turn-based tactics vibe. Pete, again, I don't know how you like chess. How is? And by the way, is chess going to make your list? Pete,
Sugar,
we might as well talk about that now, Pete. Let's go. What's next on your list?
Time-wise.
It's not chess. I forgot
Chess
about chess.
snubbed. Chess is snubbed.
No, it was
Snubbed.
number 6. Oh well, I'm gutted about that. But that was 2020, wasn't it?
3D chess.
Anyway, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's my number 1.
Yeah.
Now, I know
You
this
like
is a
Vikings,
2020
don't you?
game. Huh?
You like Vikings.
I do like Vikings.
It's the skirts and the beards.
You started this up and you played the hell out of this game.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I absolutely loved this game. Now, when I was talking about Halo before, like being boring as far as like aesthetics and like there's not enough going on. When you play this game, right, it's a little bit like I suppose GTA and all your other open world games. There's just so much going on, and there's a whole world going on in front of you.
So how many spaceships are in Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Huh? How many spaceship interiors are there, Pete?
Well, there's not. There's one on Red Dead Redemption, isn't there? I think. I'm sure there is in Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but anyway, Assassin's Creed. It was just wicked, man. I loved the story of Eivor. I loved the whole universe it was set in. Some of the little side quests. There was little references like I think not long before the game was made, Keith from the Prodigy had passed away, and there was even like a small like tribute to Kim and the Prodigy, and I just thought it was so good, you know. And yeah, it's just a brilliant game, and I've not picked up an Assassin's Creed game since number 2 actually, and I found number 2 quite. I don't think there was fast travel, was there, in number 2? I felt like there was a lot of traveling. It took you ages. You spent a lot of time just traveling around, whereas
I think that came in 3.
Yeah, well, that's what really annoyed me about 2. So I just left it. Whereas my brother carried on with it, really enjoyed it. And
I don't know you.
I just spent too much time traveling around on number 2.
Seriously, Assassin's Creed 2 is recognized as one of the very best games ever made.
No,
as a
I see. I get it with the story and stuff. I get it. It was just the whole.
More people probably have 1,000 G on that game than most other things, really.
Well, I'm not one of those people, and I found it I just found it annoying that the amount of time that you have to waste traveling around, and sometimes you don't get to it because you get killed and you get back, like you got to go back to the nearest checkpoint, and I don't know. That's what annoyed me about number 2. But number 3, you can fast travel if you wanted to, and the first thing I did with Assassin's Creed Valhalla is I went to all of the viewpoints in the entire in every map that I played in, whether it was Asgard, I think it was, and back in England. I just went to all of the viewpoints and just got that first. And along the way, I built myself some decent XP up, and then I started to go into the story, and I felt like that paid off really well because my strength and everything else, my abilities were really high compared to some of the zealots and whatever that I had to fight. I just thought it was an amazing game. It's not
honestly,
for everyone.
People with vertigo. It's really discriminatory. You know, discrimination against people with vertigo. All of those games.
The amount of times you slate me for being ginger, I'm not going to accept that type of comment from you. So Assassin's Creed, I know it came out in 2020, but it was right at the end, I think, when I bought it. I bought it in December, and I played it throughout most of the first 2 quarters of 2021. And for me, that was just an absolute gem of a game. And I'm even tempted just to play through it again. But there's so much in there to play now.
True.
There is so much to play. But,
very true. And 2022 is going to get busy quick. But okay, all right. So, Robin, anything else you wanted to add to your list?
No, but I'm hoping that if I put my bottle of red wine on the wireless charging thing, it will refill.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yes, I did notice you went through that bottle quite quickly.
It's frightening.
All right. So
it's the last night. It's the last night off. I mean, tomorrow night is it, and back to work on Tuesday. It's geez.
Big responsibilities, man. Big responsibilities.
Yeah. Do you know what? This time I have completely and utterly switched off. It's really unbelievable. I haven't looked at work email once. I have completely redirected all my calls. There's an emergency number they can get me on if they have to, but I'm not going to look at my work email until Tuesday morning. At all.
That's good.
It's been amazing for me.
That is good. All right.
Sorry.
My last two. And Halo Infinite is there. It's in my top 2, but it's not my top 1. My top one. Jesus,
Greg, it's fucking boring. The whole, all of the places where you go. I mean, it's nothing going on. It's boring. It's
a fantastic game. It very well could, I suppose, in hindsight, become my number 1. But Hitman 3 for me, this was early on in the year.
Really?
I loved Hitman 3. I loved that they just put together such a well done campaign, and the fact that you could, and it has stuck with me to this day, that there is a particular mission that you go on where you literally can become a detective. You play a detective like Sherlock Holmes doing a whodunit mystery within the scope of assassinating the main character, was just so awesome. So it has stuck in the back of my mind as being one of the gems of the year, and it came out so early on. It came out in January that I think a lot of people have just really overlooked it. I've heard it getting talked about in several gaming podcasts, but I think because it was so early on that people just don't have it. Was
that not something that happened a few years ago or last year, that it came out as episodic, and then it was released as one.
That was Hitman 2. Yeah, Hitman 2 came out episodic. Hitman 3, they released the whole thing.
Game Bomb, the big giant bomb, bomb that was up your bomb. Those guys, they made it a game of the year.
Yeah, they loved their Hitman 2. Hitman 3 also got some good praise. And for me,
what was the one with the nuns? What was the one with the nuns, Greg?
That was
the nuns. I keep on thinking
Hitman 2, I believe. Yeah, you had the crazy nuns coming after you. It was
in the cornfield. Nuns in the cornfield. You can't get sexier than that, really.
No, you cannot. But yeah, so Hitman 3 for me. I absolutely love this game. If you get a chance, you should get this game. It is a fantastic stealth shooter. You can absolutely go guns blazing if you want, and 9 times out of 10, your mission will end up with you going into like a massive killing firefights. But
is there a mission? Sorry, Greg. Is there a mission in it at a racetrack with a car racing thing?
Yes, there is.
Oh, I did play that. Some of the missions in that was good.
I played a demo, and I think it was on a yacht, and you had to kill someone on.
Yeah, I did that.
But it was really difficult.
It's not easy.
No, it's not at all.
But I thoroughly loved how many different ways in which you can conduct. And that's the thing, is the Hitman games, they give you just this huge tool set of ways of killing your target. And based on what you want to do, even sometimes when you fail at first, or you kind of make a mistake and you can't finish the mission that way, there's going to be an alternative way to finish it. And I just love that about the Hitman games. This game looks fantastic. It has ray tracing in it. It is phenomenal on the new generation systems. So it definitely is up there for me. Really thoroughly enjoyed it and cannot recommend it highly enough.
Has anyone mentioned Hardly Dan's games?
Yes, we covered that while you were downstairs taking a poo.
What were Hardly Dan's?
The Artful Escape, Mass Effect, Forza Horizon 5, Lawn Mowing Simulator, and Halo Infinite in 5th place. Yeah.
That's very Xboxy, Hardly Dan. It's very it's
I
a
think
crossover.
he's embraced.
He's a PC man.
He's embraced the whole Game Pass thing.
Yeah,
he's embraced that. and pedals. He's in
And he's mentioned
pedals.
Moonglow Bay.
Moonglow Bay. That I've not heard of.
It's like a fishing. Is it a fishing something that? Let me.
You might lose me at Fishing Simulator. I'm just saying.
A beer, Moon. What was the Moon? What was the beer I had in America called Moon something? Moon.
Yeah, it's a fishing slice of life fishing RPG.
Blue Moon, Robin. You probably had Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Yeah,
oh,
fantastic.
Moon. That was a good beer.
Did you add orange, a slice of orange to it, or lemon?
Never lasted. Yes, I did have it somewhere. Yeah, I had it in a Planet Hollywood when I had ribs that were like half a cow. I had it in there, and I had a slice of orange in it. Jesus Christ, I couldn't eat the third rack was a challenge.
Oh, you're making me hungry right now.
I'm frightened to stand on the scales. I'm going to do it on Monday. What day is today? Tuesday morning. I'm going to stand on the scales.
Don't be afraid, Robin. Don't be afraid of the scales. Just do it with 1 foot off.
6 or 7 pounds, I'm sure I put on since I was.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. Blue Moon was really good. Really good.
That's the game of the year. Blue Moon, right there.
Another game I enjoyed.
Harley Dan loves stuff. He's a good gamer. He loves bicycling. He loves surfing. He's a good lad. I like Harley Dan.
We all love Harley Dan, so there's that.
I like Matt as well. Matt's a good lad too. Matt.
He's all right. He's all right.
The whole community's great.
They're okay. Let's not make. You can't give the community this kind of praise because suddenly they all walk around like they're God's gift to the world. They can't walk through doorways because their heads are too big. It's a problem. So we have to keep them in check. We love our community. We do love our community, but
I can't wait to get back together with the community again. I know I'm digressing.
EGX. We need another EGX kind of moment. I'm just saying. All right.
There was another game I liked this year. It was Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7.
I didn't think it was amazing, but it was, it's nice to get back into that jump scare shit. So I bought Village because I think that's going to be even worse. So
what was the one that scared the shit out of me, Pete? What was the one that scared the shit out of me? Was that it?
Res number 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7. It was the woman in the attic, I think.
Oh my God, that girl came up the stairs and tried to stab me. Jesus, she was my girlfriend. God almighty, that scared the shit. I had nightmares about that. It was like that sweet potato all over again. Christ, I'm still at it right now. If I watch that video now, I still get hairs in the back of my head like that wonderful game Alan Wake. Jesus Christ.
All right. Real quickly, we're gonna kind of wrap things up here. There is one game, Kim.
Don't stop.
Yes.
One game. One game coming out this upcoming week. Let's talk about that. This massive list.
Can I tell you what my number one game of the year was?
Did we skip past you? I apologize, Kim. Yes, you may.
I'm waiting for it.
My number one game of the year was actually 2 games because, there was a tie and they connect, so it works. It was Gears 4 and 5 were my games of the year.
In reverse order.
Yeah. Because you know me. Why do anything the right way when you can do it backwards? Anyway, yes.
Deserving.
That's the whole thing at the moment. Doing it backwards. Yeah.
Who doesn't love to do it backwards?
Gears 4 and 5 were my games of the year because it's like being with your friends because these are characters that we've been with for years. So it was nice to slip on. I guess you could kind of say slip on the old shoes that are comfortable and well worn and all that. And that's kind of what it felt like for me to jump back into the Gears series and hang out with the old gang again. So
now, Kim, real quick question: in terms of Gears, hang on.
Yes.
In terms of Gears,
mm-hmm.
Obviously in Gears 4 and Gears 5, we're transitioning into these new characters.
Right.
So, obviously we have our love for Dom. We have our love for all of the classic characters, and they do make some appearances, Baird and Cole. Mm-hmm. But of the new characters, is there any one character that you're kind of vibing with, or do you like any of them?
Well, yeah. I mean, I had to kind of get used to them at first because obviously they're not, Cole and Dom and Marcus.
They are very different.
Baird.
They're very different.
They are. They're a little more to get used to. I'm liking Kate. I like her uncle Oscar. Because to see Oscar and what he's like, and then to realize, oh hey, he was a gear. It's really. So And of course, I can't say too much more because there are some spoilers in 5, and yeah, some choices you have to make, and it doesn't exactly end well. But yeah, but and I have to admit, JD, it took a little bit for him to grow on me because he was kind of a prick. So
especially in Gears 4, I found he was more of a prick than in 5.
Right.
In 5, it's like they brought him back around a little bit.
Exactly. So yeah, they are growing on me. I'm sure by the time Gears 6 rolls along, they'll grow a little more. But yeah, so we'll see. But yes, 4 and 5 were my games of the year this year. So there you have it.
All right.
Nice.
Yes.
On the must play list. All right.
Kim, do you know what I watched when I was wrapping the Christmas presents in Davenport in Florida? I in the pool room in the house, I put on, which was a TV in every room. It's ridiculous. I put on The Witcher.
Really?
And
did
it's
you enjoy
interesting.
it? Yeah, well, it is that.
Yeah, it was kind of. I'm going to watch it again from the beginning. Because those characters in it seem quite good. Wow. Do you know there's sweets you can buy in America you can't get here? Like Regal Crown sour cherry, and you can't buy Lifesavers. Isn't that right, Pete? And you can't buy Reeds, and you can't buy ice cubes or Coca-Cola Tic Tacs. Oh, anyway, sorry. The Witcher. Yeah, I heard he's all raving about it, and I thought it was the acting was going to be absolutely hammy. But I was actually quite surprised. I'm going to go back and watch it all because it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And you've really enjoyed it.
I did. I haven't got the second season yet because, well, Dad's been home all week and it's not his thing. So I'll eventually watch the second season. But yeah.
Wow, Regal Crown sour cherries are just freaking awesome. America.
And moving on. Well, yes, our food is better, Robin.
Yeah,
we've established
I've got stuff to do and it's getting cold and dark.
Yes.
So yes, our new releases. There's a big long list. So drum roll, if you please. Your new releases for January 2nd through the 8th is Deep Rock Galactic for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 on January 4th. And those are your new releases.
The new release. Just one.
Which, honestly, it will also be on the PlayStation Plus for this month. So,
yeah,
there you go.
All right. Robin.
I've realized why my wireless charging isn't working because I don't have the cable plugged in.
Oh, you're also trying to charge your wine, Robin. Yeah. That's a problem. Robin, have we established anything with regards to victories achieved? What's the plan?
Yes, here? All will be relieved. All will be released. No, all will be revealed next week.
Yay!
I love Robin when he's had a drink.
All right,
and then some. I think that the whole bottle of wine qualifies for it, and then some. All right. Look, if you've stuck it out this far, we love you. We appreciate you. Kim, actually, just do a quick shout out for everybody in the chat who all was there. I know we had Hardly Dan for sure.
Hardly Dan has been in there, and Boomer as well. Thanks for hanging out in our chat. So, at least I hope you're still there. I know Hardly Dan is. So
perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're listening to this or if you're watching this, we are on every Sunday. We'll be back next week. We'll probably be talking about looking ahead to 2022 and the games that we're looking forward to. Maybe some predictions are going to be coming forward. We're going to cut Robin off next time. Not a whole bottle of wine, maybe just half the bottle of wine. Definitely no chocolates while you're on the podcast. And
I'd never do that. It was beef jerky.
Whatever. Take your pick. Leave the spoils of America at the desk.
How can you?
It's tough.
So good.
I know. Kim and I live and eat and breathe this every day. Literally.
Every day.
All right, Robin, you get first shout out.
Okay. I want to shout out everybody that's here. Yeah. And no. Hold on. This is important. My wife said to me tonight, "You are not American." Would you smell it? And I said to her, I would move to America with a drop of a hat.
Plenty of space out here, Robin.
That's true. It is. Yeah. Anyway, I love this podcast. I love the relief that it gives me. I love being able to come on with my friends. And I'm sorry I drank a whole bottle of wine, and I had already had several glasses before I even came out here. So I'm sorry about that.
It all makes sense now.
It's a bit of fun. Regal Crown Sour Cherries are just fucking awesome. Wow. Wow. I am a COVID survivor. I am happy to be here. I'm happy that I had to thank the producers for making it all possible. I love to have my friends, and my friends are Greg, and they are Pete, and they are Kim, and they are Phil, and they are Richard, and there's somebody else, and the Nick Cole, and everybody else that's involved, and Matt, and all the guys that are involved in the podcast. I love Matt. But Matt wasn't well, and he almost had a heart attack and all that sort of shit, and he survived. So I love being part of this. This is really good. It is a good thing. We're in our. I can't speak for Kim. She's only in her 20s, and Pete's only in his 30s.
I love you,
but
Robin.
Greg and I are in our 50s, and we love being able to do this. Some people say that this is a childish thing, playing games, but as someone like Matt very cleverly said today, there are men that cheer people that kick around a piece of pigskin ball around a football pitch. So we love games. We love the community that we have. And let's go, Brandon. So thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is a fantastic year for you. As I said earlier on WhatsApp, if it isn't fantastic, it will be fantastic. It'll be better than 2021 or 2020 because we'll be numb to everything that's happened to us. And we'll just have got used to it. And it'll be fabulous. So I predict that by this time next year, it'll be 2023.
Sound prediction.
Happy New Year, everybody. I love you. No, I don't really. That's really sick. That's really crappy. No, I love that you're a part of this community. I love that. That's really good. And I hope that we have fun together this year. And we're healthy this year. So what more could we ask for than that?
Pass it around.
Kim, pass it on like venereal disease.
Well, I don't know if I could top that, to be honest.
Serious face.
Serious
face here.
Okay. Yeah. What Robin said. Happy New Year, everybody. Shout out to Hardly Dan and Boomer in the chat. And Mother Nature. Right. And Mother Nature. We've had our snow. We've had our cold. It could melt fucking tomorrow and be 80, and I'd be happy. So if you could make that, make that work, I'd be grateful. Anyway, Happy New Year, everyone, and over to Pete. Premature Pete.
I'm gonna shout out Mark because that's the only person that Robin missed off his collection. So
ass back to Mars, Mark. Get your ass to Mars.
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to podcasting with Mark again. I ain't heard his voice in ages. So, oh God, Robin. So yeah, I'm gonna shout out Mark. I'm also gonna shout out my wonderful wife. It's her big birthday next week. She's 50 years old. But don't tell anybody that I told you. So
Pete, here's what I'm doing. Judith is 50 this year, and she's 50 January, February, March, April, May, June. That's the 6th month of the year, okay? But on the 27th of each month, I am starting the celebration of her birthday. So nice. I'm going to do every month. I'm going to do something for her 50th all year long.
Oh,
I'm going to take her to New York if the wankers aren't still wankers for her birthday. But anyway, every month for Shell, do something for her birthday, starting from now all the way through the year.
Well, it's a birthday. It's a birthday next week.
Yeah.
It's a birthday.
July, February, March.
Get on it, Pete. Get on it.
All year long. All year long.
I don't think I could take it to New York.
KYL in January. But
all right, Pete, continue on.
I've not even got his bank balance. If I had his bank balance, then I'd probably take it to New York and this, that, and the other. But anyway, we was going to go abroad, but I'm going to have to just take her on a holiday in this country now. But we're looking for a nice. I'm gonna get a log cabin. I think in I don't know, somewhere in a nice forest and a log burner and a nice hot tub and shit.
Hardly Dan lives in Devon. He's got a lovely beach beside him.
What?
Kick him and his mother out, and you can stay in his house for a week.
I was going to say, he don't me in his spare room, does he? Listening to me shagging and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. I think we've watched this. A little bit too much information there. Greg, close us off.
And this, kids, is why you limit how much you drink. All right. Look, I love you guys. I do love you. You are my family.
Yeah.
You're my extended family. So happy New Year to the three of you. Of course, we love our community. So happy New Year to everybody in the podcast community. We will be back next week. You guys handled all the shout outs brilliantly. So there's nothing I need to add. I don't even have to add Mark's name because Pete handled that. There was no prematureness about that.
I didn't.
You did. You kind of missed that one. That's okay. I was trying to do the M, Robin. I was trying to do the M, and it didn't show up. All right. Come back next week, everybody. It'll be just as ridiculous as it was this week. Potentially even more so. You never know.
No,
that's it. We're done.
We're
gonna go. And shout out to my family real quickly. I hope they get well soon.
No doubt.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Happy New Year, everybody.
Back to blue.